when did you first come to Grays?
I came to Grays in 2007. That was in November. In fact, July 2007. That's when I came to Grays. I was actually in Chester, and I came down only because my mother had passed away. I was meant to go to Scunthorpe and take care of my mom, but I came down to Chester, to Essex, where my sister was, and then I found Grace. Then I fell in love with Grace.
And where were you working? Did you get a job immediately, or?
Yes, in November 2007, I started here.
All right.
Yes.
And we must explain, we're at the Thameside Theatre.
Yes, Thameside Theatre, yes.
Yeah. And is working within the Thameside Theatre. Do you enjoy working here?
I do enjoy it. Yes, they are challenging times, but I enjoy my job. With all its challenges and everything, I enjoy my job. It's one of those jobs that I can say it's not boring. It keeps your mind active all the time. Yes, you're constantly calculating figures and dealing with problems, dealing with issues and stuff.
So let's take us back a bit.
Yes.
May I ask, where are you originally from?
Originally, I'm from Zimbabwe. That's in Africa.
Yeah.
Southern Africa.
Okay.
Southern Africa, yes. I was born in a little town, it's actually a city, yes, a town called Gweru. Yes, Gweru, which is in the Midlands of Zimbabwe. Yes.
And for a period of time, Zimbabwe was called Rhodesia.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So do you get upset if people call it Rhodesia, or you simply you're wrong? It's now called since 78?
Yes, since our Independence Day was 1980,
right.
18th of April, 1980.
All right.
Yes, but then I'm sure all the papers were signed in 1979.
Yeah.
In 1979, yes. I actually don't get upset when people call Zimbabwe Rhodesia. I mean, yes, I understand. The other people that known Zimbabwe as Rhodesia. I've actually met people who actually lived in Rhodesia. So they knew it as Rhodesia. So there's sometimes I don't get offended. I mean, it's Rhodesia, Zimbabwe. It's still, although people. I mean, there's some people who attach Rhodesia with colonists and everything, but
We'll go back to Grays in a second, but do you miss it?
I do miss it. I do miss Zimbabwe, and I remember saying to him when I was being asked, would you like to go back? I was like, I'd like to go back, but at the moment, with this, the situation is a bit, the political situation, the economic situation right now is not so stable. Yes.
So was it a big decision to leave Zimbabwe?
Yes, it was. In fact, no. Yes, it was a big decision because I meant to, as a norm in our culture, when you go to school, people are expected to go to primary, secondary, and then tertiary education. So I wanted to do my tertiary education, my university in England, and actually applied to Chester University, to many universities in the UK when I was still in Zimbabwe, because I aspired to go to Zimbabwe. In fact, my first aspiration was Zimbabwe, and we got a university, got very good university in Zimbabwe. But at the moment, the economy went down, inflation skyrocketed, we couldn't afford the tuition fees and everything. So then I started applying to come overseas. Yes.
So we'll skip the Chester bit and go back to Grays then. So what do you like about living in Grays?
Living in Grays, there's no, what I say to my sister, there's no hassle and bustle like in London stuff, My sister lived in London and she used to say to me, come to London. There's no, it's an easy, it's everyday life. It's just, there's no fuss about, when I get out to go to the shops, I have to be well dressed. And also, the other thing that I like about Grays is people are not living like horses and blinkers, where they don't communicate with other people, they don't talk to people. In London, I remember I went to London for a few weeks with my sister. Even your next door neighbour, all they do is just get out of the house, go to work. They don't even say good morning. They don't. And I think it's just a sad situation. It's sad where there's no sense of community. Where
so that's an interesting point you make. You know,
yes.
You feel there was still a sense of community.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I felt that in Grace there's a sense of community where you say hello, you meet together. Your next door neighbor invites you over for a barbecue, and it was a good community. I felt it was what I knew back home. That was what in Zimbabwe, you knew your next door neighbors.
Yeah. Do you have any pastimes or hobbies, or do you just live a steady normal life?
I just live a steady life. I used to have hobbies way back, but I just live a steady life. I mean,
And what about your weekends?
Weekends, well, most of the weekends I'm working.
Yes.
I'm working, but weekends I get the chance to do some housework, go to church, because a nice church community that we have. Yes.
Now that's an interesting point. So may I ask what church?
It's the Gates of Praise.
And that's the one just across?
Just by Morrison's, yes.
That's interesting. So why is church important to you?
Church, I find it as a source of a source of comfort. Should I say comfort? Yes. When in life the times when you're faced with the ups and downs, that you need someone to talk to. Someone who's okay. You can say you can talk to anyone in the world, but at church you can see there's confidentiality. People are confident and they advise you. They pray with you. They follow up on you. And they can see a great concern about what's going on.
And forgive my ignorance, but your church is very much a service, and afterwards you socialise.
Yes, to socialise. There's cups and teas and stuff, and sometimes we have lunch. Yes, lunch, and we have outings and stuff. We have outings, yes.
And what about here at the Thameside Theatre? Do you actually ever go and see any of the shows? I mean, do you go and see the pantomime?
Oh yes, I do. I see.
Oh no, you don't.
Oh yes, I do. For the first few years that I started the Thameside Theatre, I think I consecutively went for 4 of them, and then now I still do often. Yes, I do often. On this Saturday I'll be going to watch Soul Legends. Oh yes, and I've been watching many others. Motown. I watched Motown, which was the year before. Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
Yes.
So 11 years here in Grays. Do you think you've settled here, or do you think you'll be here for the rest of, as they say? I know we don't know. But,
we don't know.
Or
Yes.
do you think you may go back to Zimbabwe, or what do you think?
For the moment, I don't think I'll be going back to Zimbabwe. Looking at the situation, although some assessors are saying things are going to be better because Zimbabwe has got presidential elections coming up soon in July. So people think things are going to be sorted, things are going to be calmer. But I don't sense that. I can see that it's still going to be unstable for a while. I mean, it's going to take a while to, the problems of Zimbabwe are not going to be sorted out in one election.
But for now in 2018, you say to people, you're loving living in Grays.
Yes.
Ask people to love Grays.
Yes, I love living in Grays. I love living in Grays with all its ups and downs and everything. It's just the sense of community. I love the sense of community. Yes.
Pamela, thank you very much for your time.
That's all right, Michael. Thank you.